Recording went on for 10 minutes with Mom adding more and more fake details about violence that never happened. Zach said he'd started recording her after realizing she was making stuff up because nobody believed him without proof. 3 days after that, Mom called CPS saying I'd pushed her against the kitchen counter and she was afraid I might really hurt her next time. She said it happened Tuesday afternoon around 4 when I got home from the school. But Missy Reynolds had already documented that I was in her office for our regular check-in from 3:30 to 5 that day. When Mr. Krause called the school to verify Mom's claim, she found out I couldn't have done what Mom said. Mr. Krause came to the school the next morning looking more serious than I'd ever seen her. She sat me down in the counselor's office and explained that Mom's false report changed everything. She said lying to CPS about abuse was a crime and showed Mom wasn't cooperating honestly. She was filing paperwork asking for court oversight because voluntary services weren't working. She explained this meant a judge would look at everything and make decisions that Mom would have to follow. The court would decide about therapy and visits, and Mom couldn't just ignore it like she was doing now. 2 weeks later, we had to go to family court for the intake hearing. The courtroom was smaller than I expected with wood panels and fluorescent lights that made everyone look sick. Mom wore her nicest dress and kept dabbing at her eyes with a tissue, even though she wasn't actually crying. The judge asked me to come up to a microphone and tell him if I felt safe at home. My voice shook as I said sometimes I felt scared when Mom got really mad. Mom made this wounded gasping sound behind me like I'd stabbed her. The judge asked more questions about what made me scared, and I told him about the threats to send me away. After 20 minutes of questions, the judge said he was ordering psychological evaluations for both Mom and me. He also ordered temporary supervision requirements including mandatory therapy and supervised visits between Zach and me. Mom had to agree to everything because the other option was the judge might remove me from her custody completely. She nodded and said yes through clenched teeth while glaring at me when the judge wasn't looking. The court orders said I had to see a therapist named Mr. Porter twice a week starting immediately. Mom had to attend parenting classes every Saturday for 3 months. Zach and I could have supervised visits once a week with Tom present. Mom also had to let Mrs. Krause do home visits without advance notice. My first appointment with Mr. Porter was the next Monday after school. His office was in a regular office building with gray carpet and motivational posters on the walls. He was younger than I expected with glasses and a beard. He didn't push me to talk right away, but explained the rules about what he could and couldn't tell other people. He said unless I was hurting myself or someone was hurting me, our conversations would stay private. He let me ask questions about him first, which helped me relax a little bit. I spent most of that first session testing if he'd judge me or take Mom's side. When I mentioned being scared of her, he just nodded and asked what that felt like in my body. He didn't say I was wrong or ungrateful like other adults had. By the end of the hour, I was starting to think maybe I could actually talk to him. At home, Mom was like 2 different people depending on who might be watching. When Mrs. Krause did surprise visits or when we had to go somewhere public, Mom was the perfect concerned mother following every court requirement. But when we were alone, she'd make little comments about how I'd ruined everything. She'd say things like, "Wasn't it nice when we were a happy family before I decided to